Hello ladies and gentlemen, in this video we're going to be talking about creating effective lead magnets. Now I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, this is not going to be a very fun video just because of the fact that this isn't necessarily the most flashy subject to talk about. It's something that a lot of people ask me about and it's very, very important, so we are going to go very in depth, but just bear with me. You're probably going to feel a little bit bored while watching this video, but let's just get right into it. Now, the first thing we have to talk about is what exactly is a lead magnet and why exactly are they important, right? Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, this is what a lead magnet is. Now, imagine you're doing cold email for an e-commerce Facebook ads marketing agency. Now, e-commerce is one of the most saturated industries in the entire world, and Facebook ads are one of the most pitched services in the world. Now, before anybody thinks anything, before anybody puts any words in my mouth, I'm not saying you can't get results in these industries. I'm just stating the facts that it is one of the most saturated industries and it is one of the most offered services, okay? Meaning, you're approaching the most saturated market with the most saturated service. And unless you stand out, you have absolutely zero chance whatsoever of ever getting a client through cold outbound, okay? Now, what most people do in the cold outreach world is they offer a call, right? Meaning straight up, let's get on a call, let's do a meeting, let's do something on Zoom, whatever. Meaning you email these e-com companies and you tell them that there is a problem and then let's go and have a call to help you solve it, right? Now, again, like in this particular situation, let's say it's about the Facebook ads. You message or email an e-commerce company. You tell them that, hey, your Facebook ads are not very good. Let us help you, okay? Now, this might have worked 10 years ago, okay? But it's just not going to work anymore. And reason being is because there's so many people offering this that you're not going to be special anymore. The only difference between them saying yes to you and them saying yes to somebody else is when you message them. It's purely based on random chance, okay? And that is just not a good way of doing outreach, right? It's just not optimal. Now, that's why you need to start offering value in the first message in order for people to quickly establish trust with you, okay? Now, I'm going to go into more in depth on what this means later in the video, but just hold on, okay? Now, right away, when I say provide value in your outreach, most people are going to think to send over a Loom video or offer a 318-page PDF that goes over extremely basic information. Now, for those of you guys who have been doing cold email for a while, you'll know right away that Loom videos are just not the way to go anymore, right? For those of you who have maybe just started cold email, you've probably heard about the Loom video strategy everywhere on YouTube, Twitter, any platform that you get information on about. You've probably heard about the Loom video strategy. Now, the truth is that the Loom video strategy used to be a very, very effective tactic in cold email, right? The whole concept was if everybody offers a call, you offer a Loom video and therefore you'll stand out. The problem is that concept and that idea has gotten so saturated that pretty much everyone does it now. And offering a Loom is like offering a call now, right? It's just extremely saturated. Now, I'm not going to get into exactly why you shouldn't do it and all like the logistics of it, just because I've already made a video on it, which is going to be right here. But if you guys are interested in why you should not offer Loom videos, then you can watch that. All right. And it's going to be somewhere in the top right corner as well. Okay. Now, hey, we're going to get right back to the video in just a minute. Just take a look at this. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, I have a paid community. It's called Lead Academy. It's $49 a month. That comes out to be $1.63 a day. For those of you who don't know, that gets you direct access to me and my partner Tyler to ask anything you'd like, weekly live coaching calls, tutorials, and tools on how to scrape several platforms like Crunchbase, GetLogica, Agency Vista, Clutch, Good Firms, several hours of on-demand course material, access to store leads and built with for completely free, personal help with your cold email scripts, help with cold email deliverability, help with creating effective angles and offers for your outreach, access to ready-to-use SOPs and training, access to dozens of people who are running businesses just like yours, website and landing page templates, video sales letter templates, access to our real sales calls and real onboarding videos, a real uncensored look into the inner workings of Borks.io, access to all sorts of content, including how to build a personal brand, how to grow on YouTube and Twitter, help with generating inbound quality leads, an inside look into how we're automating and streamlining complex tasks like inbox management and sales process, and so much more. So if that's something you're interested in, it's going to be the first link in the description, and let's get right back to the video. Here is what providing real value means. You want to provide something that is tangible. This means you can actually show it to someone, not like your time. And I'm going to explain why I keep comparing it to time. Something that is obviously valuable. Its value is clearly apparent, not like your time. Actually helpful. This is something that the prospect can actually physically benefit from, an actual ROI on what you're giving them. And then something they'd otherwise have to pay for, not like your time. Now, the reason why I keep comparing it to your time is because a lot of people like to do lead magnets that are something like an audit, or something like a workshop, or something like a webinar, or something like something that is in reality just a sales call. Okay. Now you can twist and turn whichever way you like, right? If you have a sales call, you can call it an outbound audit, right? That's what we do in our agency too. It's not a secret, right? We use these same concepts, right? You can call your sales call an outbound audit. You can call your sales call a conversion session or a scale up session or whatever you want to call it. But in the end of the day, it's always going to be a sales call. Now, on a sales call, you have to be present there. Therefore, it is time. Now, everybody in the world, especially business owners, agree that time is money. That's not a secret, okay? But that's not the way that you should be approaching cold outreach, because your time is not inherently valuable to the person that you're outreaching to, okay? Now, your time, it's not tangible, right? Like if someone gave you 30 minutes of their time, you have nothing to show for it, right? If someone gave you an ad creative, on the other hand, like a physical ad creative, it's a physical JPEG on your computer. You can show the JPEG. It's something that you can show. It's tangible. Your value or your time is not tangible, okay? Obviously valuable. You might you might value your time at $1,000 an hour, but everybody else doesn't value your time at $1,000 an hour, right? So therefore, your time's not obviously valuable. Actually helpful, right? This is something the prospect could benefit from. Now, they don't, even if they could benefit from it, they don't know that up front, and therefore it's not actually helpful, okay? You can't offer something that you think might be helpful because it's not actually helpful. It won't seem helpful, okay? And if you want to do outreach the right way, you're going to have to be valuing things or offering things that are right away helpful, okay? Here's another thing. Something they'd otherwise have to pay for. Now, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you do sell like coaching calls, consulting calls. Now, you would think that, otherwise they'd have to pay for my time, but they wouldn't, okay? Just because you offer your time at a certain rate, and just because some people may have bought it, that doesn't mean that the prospect you're outreaching to might buy it, okay? Therefore, offering any sort of call, audit, scale-up session, discovery, whatever it might be, however you position it, is just not a good lead magnet. It's just not, okay? Now, for example, a good idea of a lead magnet for e-commerce companies would be something like 5 free ad creatives. Now, this is most definitely tangible, okay? You physically have a file on your computer, which you can show, you can print out, you can send to people. It's definitely valuable. Okay? Or I'm sorry, tangible, not valuable. Then it is also obviously valuable, okay? You know, if you're an e-commerce marketing company, or you know if you're an e-commerce company in general, that ad creatives cost money. It either costs you time to make, you have to have somebody in-house who is being paid hourly to make these, or you have to be working with an agency that's going to make you those ad creatives, meaning it's obviously valuable. An e-commerce company knows that to produce ad creatives, they have to expend time or money, or both, okay? It's actually helpful, and I have in parentheses, if they're good, okay? Now, why is that the case? If an ad creative is going to increase the performance of your ads, right, therefore it's better than what you currently have, it is actually helpful. It's generating more money, therefore making it helpful, okay? And last thing is they have to either hire someone or get an agency to do this otherwise. And this goes back to something they'd otherwise have to pay for, okay? Meaning, if they wanted ad creatives on a done-for-you basis, they would either have to hire somebody in-house or they would have to hire an agency, meaning ad creatives are definitely something they would otherwise have to pay for. Okay. Now, once you do that, you're going to get much better response rates. And if your lead magnet is actually good, that is the one contingency. Okay. Your lead magnet needs to be actually good. You can very quickly establish trust and then have a much easier time asking for a call. Okay. Now, in this exact situation, if any of you guys watching are actually an e-commerce marketing agency, this is an offer that we run. This is an offer that we get results for. And this is definitely something that you should be trying. Okay. But now, what is the problem? The problem is that you need to be able to come up with these lead magnets on your own. Now, for those of you who don't know, I own a cold email marketing agency, right? Or I guess cold outbound. We don't just do cold email, but that's like the main service that we do. Now, we have all sorts of clients. We don't only work with e-commerce clients. We don't only work with one specific client. And by far, the most challenging and the most intensive part of doing this as a service is being able to consistently get domain expertise and come up with effective lead magnets and effective offers in all sorts of different industries. Now, I just gave you an example in e-com. Now, e-com is an entirely different thing, right? Then we have companies which are, for example, in the medical tech industry. As you can imagine, companies in the medical tech industry are entirely different from e-commerce companies. They are just like extremely different. And you need to be able to come up with these different lead magnets in order to effectively become an agency. Now, for those of you who aren't agencies and you're just trying to do cold email for yourself, then you just need to understand your industry very well, okay? But this is the key problem with doing stuff like this, is that you need to be able to rapidly gather domain expertise, okay? Now, a good magnet or good lead magnet is going to be very, very different in every single niche. But right now, we're going to discuss how you can go about finding good lead magnets in whatever industry that you might be doing, okay? And there's two types of people watching this video. There's going to be the lead generation agency owners who want to get specifically better results for their clients, right? Meaning you guys already do cold email for several people, but you just want to do it better. And there's going to be other B2B business owners that want to do cold email for themselves. Now, let's go over how exactly you should position everything in order to get the best results in both situations. Now, in this situation, for the lead generation agency owners, you need to specifically work with clients that have already achieved product market fit. And they need to make at least 20 to 30K a month. You are never going to be able to completely know every single industry. Now, again, I'm going to show you guys how to do something along the lines of learning about an industry later in this video, but you're never going to be able to start working with a client who has no idea what they're doing and get them results, because you simply will not have the right inputs, and therefore you will simply not have the right outputs. That's why I personally recommend any lead generation agency not work with any business doing under 20K a month, bare minimum. That is like the very minimum that you need to be making in order to have product market fit and actually and have a lead generation agency be really certain that they can help you. Okay. Now, that's that. Now, you are never going to be completely able to know every single industry and every single pain point, so you need your clients to be sharp in order to effectively create lead magnets for them. Now, we're going to talk about what that means in a little bit. Now, for those of you guys who own B2B businesses, right, and you guys are not running outreach for other people, you're just running it for yourself. In this situation, you need to be the one who understands the market and who it is you're selling to. I'll be honest with you, if you're just getting started and you don't really know about what you're selling or who you're selling to, it's going to be very difficult. Okay. This is why a lot of the most successful agencies in the world started by solving a problem for themselves and then offering that solution to others, right? This is very intentional. When you have a problem and that problem is very big, and then you end up going and solving it for yourself, and then you start selling that solution to others, you know how it felt to have that problem. You were your ideal client. You knew what it was like. And therefore, you can position your offer and sell to yourself from the past, okay? And that's why it is so easy to sell. And that's why we personally started a lead generation agency, because in our past agencies and in our past business ventures, that was always the thing that we were best at, okay? Now, for those of you who you aren't in a situation like this, that doesn't mean you can't do this still. You very much can. You just need to understand your industry, okay? Now, when you know the problem very well, you can effectively navigate how to sell to the people having it. Okay. Now, here's a perfect example of how domain expertise can help you get results. And shout out to Mitchell Keller for this idea. I don't want to sound like I'm like making this up myself. I saw this from Mitchell Keller on Twitter. This guy is genius when it comes to like coming up with these little angles. So, shout out to him. Now, imagine you're doing outreach for an SEO company, meaning this is an agency who offers SEO services to other companies. Okay. Now, the ideal client profile for an SEO company is going to be someone that is already aware of SEO. They already know what it is. They already understand its importance. They already know how that works. They want SEO, meaning they are actively looking to get better organic results. And they don't know how, this should say doesn't know how to do SEO. They do not know how to do SEO. Okay. Meaning they want it, they're not doing it, or more accurately, they know about it, they want it, but they're not doing it. Okay. Now, obviously, you can't just target people who are aware of SEO. That's not like a filter on a database where you can just check it off and that's it, right? You have to go by indirect measures in order to find these people. Now, even though you can't just check off like wants SEO, you can do something like this. You check if a prospect's sitemap, or therefore, I guess a prospect's website sitemap, is being indexed by Google. Then you check whether that prospect has a blog. And then you check if they have a blog but aren't being indexed. That means that they want SEO but aren't getting results with it. Now, for those of you who don't really know how SEO works, long story short, for you to be search engine optimized, you need to be indexed by Google. Now, there is ways to check if Google has indexed your website, and you can check if someone has been indexed by Google. Now, for those of you who also didn't know, blogs are one of the best ways to rank on Google. A lot of content on a website makes you rank better, makes you have domain authority, okay? Now, if you have a blog and you're actively posting on it, that means that you want to be ranking for SEO. People don't just post blogs because they have nothing better to do. They post blogs for SEO. But if they're posting blogs, but they're not indexed by Google, that means they're trying to get search engine optimization, but they're not getting there because of issues like that. Okay. Now, in this situation, an amazing lead magnet would be helping them get indexed by Google. Okay. And you would never in your life be able to come up with something like this if you didn't have domain expertise. And you need to be able to come up with things like this. Okay. Now, finding leads like this can be automated with Clay. This is a conversation for an entirely different day. I'm not going to go over it in this video, but this is possible to automate. Okay. Now, this is a high intent lead. This is a perfect example of a high intent lead, right? And you'd never know that if you didn't go and ask your clients the right questions, or if you just didn't know the industry very well yourself. Okay. Now, let's say you have the domain expertise, whether it's from your client or whether it's from yourself, and you're still struggling to come up with lead magnets. Now, this is where you could leverage ChatGPT and just AI in general in order to help you come up with lead magnets. Now, again, this is not a perfect solution. This is not just going to magically make you amazing at creating lead magnets and that's it. This is going to be just a starting point, but this is not a perfect solution, okay? But let's talk about how you could potentially do that. Now, I actually have a GPT that I went ahead and created. It's called Better Offer. This is trained on real cold email data, meaning this isn't just like a regular GPT. It's trained on real cold email data. And I'm actually going to give this away for free. It's going to be in the description. So if you want to use it, you absolutely can. And this is what I'm going to use as an example. Now, for my example, let's say that you run a growth operating agency. Right now, for those of you who don't know what growth operating is, it's basically where you find an influencer who has a bunch of subscribers, a bunch of reach, a bunch of followers, and does not have an info product or does not have a coaching program, and then you offer to help them make it, okay? Now, the way that I would use this is you would have to prompt it very well because AI is only going to be as useful as you, or AI can only give you as good of an answer as of an input that you give it, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and just type it in. I'm going to say, I run a growth operating agency where I help influencers and content creators make more money from their audience. My target audience is influencers with at least 10K subscribers followers in the finance/business niche that are not currently doing any info/coaching programs. My business works like this. We find a creator that wants to make more money from their audience. We offer to do a 50-50 revenue split, and then we build out the program. We help them advertise it, and then we deliver high quality sales funnels to their audience. That causes conversions because that person already has an audience, and we get 50% of everything we generate. We do all the back end, and the influencer pushes the traffic. Okay, so you write this, and what I always like to do is I like to mention what the big pain points are with an industry. Now, I don't run a growth operating business, but I would assume that one of the biggest pain points is that influencers don't believe they can monetize their audience, or they think that it is too early. Give me some ideas for effective, tangible, and obviously valuable lead magnets. Now we're going to send this, and let's see what this is going to give us. Just give it a second. Okay, so for your growth operating agency, targeting influencers and content creators in the finance. So let's see. Custom monetization strategy report. Now this I wouldn't do. I don't like to do any reports or audits. Sample product or mini course creation. Now that could be a pretty interesting idea. Audience interest survey design and analysis. Create and execute a detailed survey to gather insights about whether the product or services their followers would be interested in. Now, you see, that's an interesting angle, because if you could message an influencer and offer to gauge their audience and see if this is something they'd be interested in, that could be very interesting, right? Like that within itself is a unique angle. Then first campaign setup and management. Okay, so you can set up a first funnel to a potential info product they could sell. You see, now that's interesting, because if you set up a funnel which would offer a small segment of their audience something, and say it was either very cheap or even free, and then you push that and you saw how many people would actually take up that offer, you could immediately gauge if this is something worth doing for that influencer. Like, this could be another interesting concept. Revenue forecast model. Okay, give me more ideas like this one, right? And then you can talk to the GPT and come up with something. And again, this isn't going to give you a perfect solution. There's no way to just snap, the reality into that's it, right? And just like into reality. You need to just go back and forth and have ideas, but you can see how this can give you at least some starting point to come up with an idea, right? Take a look at this. Exclusive content mini-series, digital product launch, affiliate partnership facilitation, limited time membership club, pilot webinar production. There's a lot of different things that you can do here, okay? So I'm going to drop this in the description. If you guys want to use it, feel free. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's one of those videos where I can't give you guys an exact framework on how to come up with lead magnets, because it's just something that comes with experience, but I really do hope this video helped. If it did, please like and subscribe. I believe we're at around 1,050 subscribers at the time of recording this video, so we are still a tiny channel, and I really do notice every single person that likes and subscribes. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We'll go from there. Bye-bye.